Good morning, parents. This is Mr. Soderberg at the high school, and as we get close to the end of the semester, I wanted to spend some time in teacherese and in the grading side of it, so to give some explanations to what's happening and what you're seeing when you go into the grades for your child. So we'll get into that, and this should be a fairly brief video, but important video for you to watch from beginning to end, if you would, please. So as we do this, I wanted to start with how we convert from a letter grade to GPA points awarded. This is no different than what's been done traditionally in terms of getting GPA points. So for example, if you just start in this column, the letter grade that is assigned certain GPA points. So students, if they're a straight A student, they're going to have a 4.0 GPA. That's what their cumulative GPA will look like. What we've done, so in the traditional grading, these letter grades are based on percentage. In a standards-based, it's based on achievement levels. So when we get into the grade book, if I see an achievement level of, let's say, a 3.6 or anything in this range of 3.51 to 4.0, that would earn them a letter grade of A, and that would also mean then that they would get 4 points for their GPA award for that letter grade. So the way you read this chart is this. My child has an achievement score of whatever it is, 3.6. And that means my child earned a letter grade of an A, and the letter grade is awarded 4 GPA points. And so we do that for each letter grade, and then it's a simple average, and that gives them their cumulative GPA for that particular time frame, and even for their career in the high school. So that's how that chart reads. So when we go into the grade book, you're going to see the standards-based scores are from 1 to 4, and where they end up in that range is how the letter grades are assigned. So we may get back to that later, but I thought that'd be good for you to see up front. So I'm in now as a parent. I'm into my son's student parent portal, and I'm going to click on grades. When I do that, the grades will come up, and you'll notice that when you have a traditional class, it'll have a percentage with a letter grade next to it, like this one and this one as well. The other classes with a score between 1 and 4 would be the standards-based classes. Now, these numbers, the 3.5, 3.54, are really placeholders. They're not a pinpoint number on what their score is in the system. So we're working with teacheries to figure this out, but this is a placeholder. This is a rounded number. So this tells me that my son's score is somewhere between a 3.5 and a 4. In order to see it, I need to go in and click on this to see what the score actually is. And I know that's an extra step, but I just want to make sure we're clear so you know that this number is a holding spot. It is a rounded number. This tells me that he's between a 3.5 and a 4, but if I click on it, I get the detail that I need. So I click on that 3.5, and now it takes me to his calculus grade book. Overall, now I see that he's got a 3.9 on that on his achievement level. And what you'll notice then below that is these are all the bolded ones are the standards. So if this one is about limits of a function. Below that is an I can statement that has been assessed. So when I look at that and I click on this little blue caret, I can open that up and see what he's done. So I can see that he's taken 2 assessments on it and he got a 4 and a 4. Okay, great information. So now I know basically it's not, hey, how did you do on the assignment, but it's rather what's going on with functions. How are you doing with your functions? And let's take a look at that. So if I go down to the bottom and I notice that my son is a 3.03 on analyze a function to determine the appearance of the graph is a 3.03. That is obviously a standard that he's going to need to work on and will work on. So when I look at that, I can see that he's had 2 assessments. He's got a 3.5 and a 3, and he has a 3.03 overall score. Now, we continue to work with kids on getting those scores, drive those scores up. This may be that he just started learning this. You'll notice that 1.7 was his most recent assessment. So they may have more work to do on that. But at least it gives us a conversation piece with our children about what specifically do they need to work on. And just as a reminder, anytime there's a little blue caret like this, you can click on it and open that up. So hopefully you find that to be helpful. I'm going to back up one spot here and just quickly show you what a traditional grade looks like. So let's go into creative writing class. This is the more traditional, this is the traditional grade book. You can see the assignment, the score, the percentage, and you can see where those percentages fall in terms of letter grades. And that should be nothing new to anyone. The final thing I wanted to mention, or two final things, is when you first come into Teacherese, sometimes it'll be defaulted to Q4. What you'll want to do is go over and take a look at this. You can look at Q1, Q2, you can look at semester 1. And what you'll notice is that, again, because of the system, you'll notice that the standards-based scores persist throughout semester 1, Q1. Either way, I'm going to see that most up-to-date standards-based score. Whereas the traditional scores show up in the quarter where they were assigned. So Q1 will have separate scores from Q2. And that's something we're working with them on. But if you get there and you see it's at Q4, you just want to switch it to Q1, Q2, semester 1. The grades are accurate. We just need to make sure that that you understand where to find all those grades. One of the things that you'll notice is that there is no spot until report cards are created to see an overall grades. And so when we get the report card out, you'll be able to see them all in one place with the detail that we want you to have. In terms of cumulative GPA, that will show up on the transcript. We will teach you how to get access to that in Skyward. It's very simple, but you'll be able to go on and see your students' transcript now, and that's something that we were not doing in the past, but we will do now. So hopefully you find that helpful. One final piece, and really important piece. Students are expected to do their work, and I'm sure that's the same expectation you have for them at home. So how do I know what work they have missing? In order to see what work they have missing, you'll just want to drop to semester 1, and you can do this for Q1, Q2, but I like to go to semester 1 because that includes all missing work. And I go down and I look, and I scroll down to the bottom, and I can see what work is missing. Now, fortunately, in this case, my son doesn't have any missing work. That's great. But if your child has missing work, please go to that, look at this with them, and talk to them about completing those assignments. Missing work can be assignments, it can be projects, it can be assessments, things that they need to get done. And we're working really hard during our end of the day win time with students to get that stuff completed. But a push from you at home is very valuable. We encourage you to do that, please. If they don't get it done by the end of the semester, there will be an impact to them, and they need to know that and understand that. Fortunately, we have many, many, many students that are completing all their work on time and so on. But we have some that we need to encourage. So if you could do that, we'd greatly appreciate it. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, you can email me or call me. Email is probably the most effective because then I can respond quickly to that. But if there's anything you need, please let us know. We're here to support. Thank you and have a great day.